Hi everyone and welcome to Green Monk TV. My guest on the show today is Greg Frenette. Greg is the manager of battery electric vehicle applications for the Ford Motor Company. Greg, let's start off with a bit of historical background. Ford have been looking at electric vehicles for some time now. I think 2005 was when you started looking at electric vehicles and smart grid integration. Were you working on electric vehicles even before that?
Oh, sure. We've been working on electric vehicles for over 20 years in our research organization primarily. And when I say electric, I talk about not only battery electric, but fuel cell electric vehicles. But it was in 2007 when we decided to explore a demonstration fleet of plug-in vehicles, plug-in hybrids, that we started thinking very seriously about the integration of those vehicles with the grid. And in July of 2007 announced a partnership with Southern California Edison, which has since grown to a partnership with about 12 different utilities and industry organizations.
What is the basis of that partnership? I mean, Southern Cal Edison is a utility company. Is it that you are getting your test bedding your electric vehicles to see how they fit in with smart grids, or what's the basis of the partnership?
That's exactly it. We've got some very high fidelity Ford Escape production vehicles that have been modified with lithium-ion battery packs and charging systems. And we're really exploring what the interaction of that vehicle with the grid is like. We're trying to get a better understanding of the win-win solutions between industries that'll be necessary in order to commercialize plug-in hybrids as well as full battery electric vehicles.
From the research, what are you guys seeing? How well do electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles, how well do they integrate with smart grids?
Well, I think the opportunity is tremendous. With our plug-in Escape fleet of about 21 vehicles that we've deployed across North America, we're now in the process of setting up communications and actually demonstrating communications between the vehicle and smart meters, which are becoming more and more available today in the market. And so we're finding that the whole idea of how a vehicle interfaces with the grid is more than simply plugging it in. There's an opportunity to communicate and an opportunity for the consumer, automotive consumer, electric consumer, to make choices and to communicate those choices back and forth from the vehicle to the grid and vice versa. I'll give you an example. If you're sitting in one of our plug-in Escape prototypes, hybrid prototypes today, what you'd find is if you decided you didn't want to start charging until the rates were cheaper, say around midnight or so, you could tell the vehicle, don't charge until then. Or if you wanted a full charge by a certain time in order to return home or whatever, you could then dictate that, communicate it through the vehicle to a smart meter that would then modulate the charge in such a way to meet your needs.
Interesting. So you're basically shifting your consumption to match times when electricity is less expensive.
You can do that. You can also, if you're plugged in and you don't have a need for a particular charge and you have some freedom, flexibility, you can indicate that you're willing to accept an interruptible service in order to, again, reduce the cost of charging your vehicle. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of the sort of communications that will become available in vehicles and the kind of capability we'll have to really interact with the grid and dictate how we use energy with vehicles.
One of the other issues around integration of battery electric vehicles and smart grids is the billing. So say if I go and visit somebody else, some cousins or some neighbors or some family or something, and they live a couple of hours away, and I need to charge to get home, can I plug in my vehicle into their electric outlets and have it billed back to my account? Are you working on those kind of integrations as well?
Absolutely. One of the real beauties of Ford partnering with a number of utilities across North America is we're exploring those sorts of scenarios. And so this whole idea of mobile billing, how that occurs, how it takes place, is something we're exploring along with a number of other interface opportunities and challenges that we want to face and work out together.
Another issue that people raise around electric vehicles is if an electric vehicle is being charged by a utility who are burning coal, are they outputting more CO2 then than they would if the same car was running off gas?
Well, that scenario could certainly present itself. One of the things, one of the opportunities that may present itself in how consumers interact with the grid is you may dictate through your vehicle or through an interface at the meter, you may dictate that you want the greenest form of charging. In other words, you will dictate that you'll charge at times when the least amount of coal is being burned and perhaps other sources of energy are being made available to the grid. So that sort of thinking is something that we're currently engaged in. At the end of the day, though, the total environmental solution is more than a solution at the tailpipe of the vehicle. It has to be a what we call a wells to wheels solution. And so the energy industry sees the role I think they need to play in helping drive emissions down, helping us really improve the environment together.
Okay, one last question, Greg. When will I see a Ford battery electric vehicle in the showroom?
Well, our current plans today call for Ford Transit Connect battery electric vehicles to begin coming off our production line at the end of next year. The following year, 2011, we're currently scheduled to be putting out a full electric Ford Focus battery electric vehicle. And then our plans beyond then, 2012 and beyond, call for a plug-in hybrid, a version of the vehicles that we're currently running in demonstration today. So we're not talking about a long-term reality here. What we're really talking about is vehicles that are currently under design, development, and will be deployed out into the public very shortly.
Superb. Greg, that's been fantastic. Thanks a million for coming on the show.